Last name ever, first name greatest. Like a sprained ankle, boy, I ain't nothing to play with. This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, answering more questions today for the Power Project. We are up over 1,150 videos, 10,000 subscribers, and nearly 4 million views. Let's keep this thing cranking. Let's keep this thing rolling. We have a great question for today, and it comes from a guy named Wes. And Wes is asking about the Rippetoe, the Schmippishmo squat. And he wants to know, basically, if his assessment of the Rippetoe squat is correct. First of all, I do not know Mark Rippetoe personally. Secondly, I am unaware of some of his teachings. The only thing I really know are some things I've seen off the YouTubes. And some of the things I've seen off the YouTubes are short clips. So I do not really know how he coaches people individually. However, from some of the things that you showed me, and the picture that you showed me, and I'll post it after all this hoopla, after I talk through the squat here. I'll post the diagram. You're talking about that you have been trying Mark Rippetoe's style of squat, and that your teammates are saying that it's wrong. However, you're also saying that you've increased your squat by 60 pounds over the last year. So who's right and who's wrong? What are you after? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get weaker, or are you trying to get stronger? Are you trying to lift more weight, stack more weight on the bar, or are you trying to lift less weight? If you're trying to lift more weight, then it appears Mark Rippetoe is correct, and it appears that his style is helping you succeed further. My understanding, and again, keep in mind, I'm not following all the stuff that Mark Rippetoe puts out, but it's my understanding that basically Mark Rippetoe shows a diagram of two different squats and typically talks about two different styles of squat. He talks about a high bar squat, where the bar is high up on your neck. He talks about a low bar squat, where the bar is low down on your back. And how there's different styles that go with the different barbell settings. And in my opinion, he's 100% correct in his assessment there. If the bar is going to be low, you have really no choice but to lean forward a little bit and to use your lower back. A lot of people are scared to use their lower back when they squat. Some people are even scared to use their lower back when they deadlift. And these are huge mistakes. Your lower back is designed to handle quite a bit. You do need to try to keep your lower back neutral. You do need to try to keep your lower back flat, straight, however you want to put it. You need to try. You need to try to brace yourself and stay as neutral as possible throughout a lot of these range of motions, especially when you start to add a lot of weight. But things are not always going to be perfect. You will round over from time to time. And the main thing in the squat is that you work towards trying to keep your chest up. So whether you have the bar high or whether you have the bar low, the chest always needs to stay up. You need to make sure you're keeping your stomach tight. As far as your head positioning goes, Mr. Rippetoe has some great points about head positioning. He basically goes on to say that if you are a high bar squatter, you're going to be looking more straight ahead-ish. And if you are a low bar squatter, you need to look about 6 to 10 inches out in front of your body. Again, this is all stuff that I have heard that he has said. So it's not directly from Mark Rippetoe himself. And I do not know how he would assess an athlete that's going to lift a little differently. I would imagine it's got different cues for different people, different strokes for different folks. That's the way I like to coach, because we're all built so differently. There's so many different things going on with each person's body. The great Ed Cohn used to have his chin up quite a bit when he squatted. He had the bar extremely low. He leaned forward quite a bit. But he also kept his chest up a lot. There's going to be different body types. Am I built like Ed Cohn? Ed Cohn's also only like 5'3" or 5'4". And 220 pounds, and I'm about 6 feet tall and about 260 right now. So there's going to be a lot of different body types. Going to be a lot of give and take on how somebody squats. Ed Cohn also used to arch really, really hard with the weight, but as the weights got heavy, his arch turned into more of a neutral spine, and also due to the fact that he had such enormous erectors, not erections, although he may have had those too because he might have been excited that he's the greatest lifter of all time, these guys are, some lifters are so developed that when they arch or when they do certain things, they can only move so much. So in your question is basically, do I feel that Mark Rippetoe is right? It doesn't matter what the people's coach thinks in this regard, because you said that you're making improvement. That is what the Power Project is based on, is self-improvement and getting yourself better. So whether you listen to Mark Rippetoe, Stan Efferding, Dan Green, Brandon Lilly, Jesse Burdick, doesn't matter who you're listening to, if you can continue to make improvements and you can continue down a path that is allowing you to recover properly and not get hurt, and you're continuing to be more and more successful, and you're improving, then everything's good. You don't need to listen to the mumbo jumbo out there. I just came back from a strength summit, so to speak, out in Richmond, Virginia. And when I was there, I went up there in front of people. There's a lot of coaches talking. They were talking about force velocity curves and yada, yada, yada. And Mr. Burdick and myself got up there in front of people and we said, you know what? We got no slides. We got no pretty slides to show you. We got no notes. We don't have a computer up here. We don't have any of these fancy things to show you, fancy diagrams and things like that. And the reason is because we don't always think they're necessary. While some of the science behind things is great, the practice a lot of times is even better. Think about it this way. How many jacked and tan dudes are out there? How many guys are jacked and strong that are not regarded as being smart? How many guys are there that are out there like that? There are a lot of them. And you want to know why they exist? It's because this shit is not that complicated. You go in, you pick up heavy stuff, and you try to improve upon it. You try to learn from others. You try to grab information where you can. Usually it's in the gym and not in a book, although books can help. Normally it's in a gym and not just coming from a book. So keep trying to gather your resources up as much as you can. Try to figure out your way through all the mumbo jumbo and through all the bullshit that's out there. And you know what? A lot of you guys have been lifting for a long time, and don't just take someone's word for it. Try things out yourself and see how it actually feels. If it feels better, then it's better. If it feels sketchy, then it's sketchy. I myself have lowered my eye level down over the last few years. I remember when I would go up and squat at this other gym out here in Northern California, let's just say, they would laugh at me each and every time I went there. But the first time I went there, I squatted 705. The last time I went there, I squatted 1,003. So the joke was on them the whole time, because as they were ridiculing my style of squat, saying that I was looking down at the ground for change, I was improving while they were working on their hatred for me and their continued hatred for me. Well, I guess I should be thanking them for all that. But anyway, the point is I was constantly trying to refine my form and my technique, even though I believe that strength in the end is usually the key to why people have such shitty form. Shitty form and shitty positioning and shitty mobility is disguised as being a pussy, normally. It's disguised as weakness, usually. And if you can make yourself stronger, you will maintain your positions better. And people say, man, that guy's form is pretty good. Check out my form when I did 1,080. I crushed that shit. Check out my form when I did 943, or go back and watch some of the videos. Everything's available. Just keep scrolling through it. It might take you a while to sift through it all, but you're going to notice some big improvements. You're going to notice that when I squatted 1,003 for the first time, I got pretty rounded over. When I squatted 1,080, I didn't get rounded over at all. The thing jumped off my back practically. So anyway, don't let other people put you down. Don't let other people tell you a bunch of bullshit. Listen to some of these sources. Try some of these things out. And if they're working, they're working. There ain't nothing anybody can tell you different. And that is it from supertraining.tv.